in the system here, if we go to the next slide, we're going to show you both the external and internal portals here. An example of a patient accessible portal to report grievances. Then we'll have the ability to show you how that would look internally for the workforce to being able to make and report on grievances. And then we'll show you an example of what a data breach intake form would look like. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Will Matthias, who's going to take us into the system and bring this to life for you. Thanks, Will.
Thanks, Brian. I'm going to switch over to my screen. And hopefully you're seeing the grievance management portal. So this is one of the 3 intake portals that we pre-configured. These can be adjusted, but out of the box, they become ready to take a lot of different types of intakes. This portal is special in that it is public facing. So this can be accessible to people who don't have ServiceNow credentials. It gives them an ability to provide that data, and then your team within ServiceNow can act on it. As you see there's a number of these different categories. Each of them has an intake form. I'm going to jump in and show for HIPAA privacy. If someone had a concern that they needed to voice, they could go to this portal, click on that, and then enter in their information. This information includes, who the patient was, and then information on what the description of the issue is. By providing things like the patient email, you can get back in contact with this person to follow up. But as far as initializing it and getting the intake rolling, they nearly have to go to that portal, fill that in. Because it's public, there's mechanisms to prevent abuse. So the CAPTCHA, make sure that it's not going to be sent from robots. There are 2 other portals. One is internal, similar to that for the grievance, but a third one are for compliance issues. This portal could be made accessible to a variety of people by default. It's meant for your system users of ServiceNow. They can go in and they can fill out each of these. Each of these intake forms is got specific information for that type of violation. And then when the data is recorded in your system, it'll know which one of these it came from, helps you sort and manage all that. I'm going to give an example here of data loss. So here we can specify how many records were affected. This example, I'm saying that someone lost a laptop. It had some data in it. I can specify what kind of data. So I picked those 3. It didn't happen to have any PHI, but it had some PII data. I explain a little bit about that, and then I can click submit. Once this data has been gathered, it's turned over to the risk and compliance team to respond and deal with that. And one of the tools we've provided is a dashboard. This would help you track grievance issues, what categories they're coming in from, maybe what compliance issues are coming in. The ServiceNow dashboards are all interactive, so I could drill in and I could get into the details of that specific group and get more information that way. We're also highlighting which issues have been marked as critical or high priority, and what issues based on your deadline of responding within 60 days, are maybe past due and something needs to be done. So this is what an issue would look like when you got into an individual one. So as it was sent in, it would come into the new stage, and all this information that had been provided on that portal would be brought in. You then can go through a process familiar to the issue management and other places in ServiceNow, where you'd analyze it. You could assign it to someone to resolve. They could come back with a response on how they're going to remediate it. And then you can go through and eventually close that. All of those normal processes are available, and they can be connected in with other issues, so that if you have a common set come in, they can be tracked that way. And with these dates, you're able to manage when this might actually be completed, and when was it created and needed to start. So that's the grievance and compliance application. Involves portals where intakes can be brought in, and then the individual issues that are created can be dealt with inside of ServiceNow.